the whole idea fucking behind punk rock was just fucking being fucking unhappy where one was at.
Bullshit.
It's to me, it's just pop punk. It's got a catchy beat.
It ain't pop punk. It's pop music. It's not
music,
punk.
yeah.
Pop fucking music.
Don't get us started, man. We'll go off on this. Our whole fucking segment of this documentary will be about fuck these people and these kids who think they're fucking punk rock because they went and got a tattoo and bought a pair of Converse.
Nobody wanted to pick us up because we look like a dreadful bunch anyway.
If a show costs more than $3, people wouldn't go.
What can you say about the Albuquerque fucking punk scene, dude? It's too fucking small. It's too small.
Having to fucking find one's way in the world where fucking people could understand them and fucking be able to, you know, fucking retain the fucking credibility fucking of being like, I was poor and fucking here I am now and fucking you fucking goddamn see me. This is how it is, motherfucker. You can't turn your fucking eyes off. You can't fucking break. You can't, this is it. This is fucking it. So fucking goddamn, fucking wherever fucking anybody is, whether they be fucking mid fucking goddamn Southern America or fucking goddamn fucking in London, fucking England, fucking stroking fucking balls, straight up. This is how it is. I fucking grew up poor. I grew up fucking robbing people, and fucking I fucking never felt some fucking gang fucking bullshit. I felt unity in the fucking punk rock scene because fucking we were all there. And we all fucking beat the crap out of each other the entire fucking time. But if it wasn't these other people making me stronger, then the fucking world would have beaten my ass fucking a long time ago. And I would fucking cease to fucking exist. The whole idea of punk rock is fucking fuck you fucking history books. Here it is. I was here. I was here in the history books. Whether it be a martyr or not, dude, fucking here I was, poor as hell. Here I was saying, this shit is fucking bullshit. And there's gotta be fucking a better way. Unfortunately, none of us have a better way, like, planned out, you know? I don't know. The idea of punk rock I have is to fucking voice my fucking concerns. Fucking yell out, scream it out, shout it out, to fucking break shit if I have to get people's attention. Not to fucking not vote, not to fucking, oh, I'm gonna fucking sit back all fucking stoned and drunk. Fuck that, dude. I'm gonna fucking go out all stoned and drunk and fucking fuck you.
To be a rebel, be completely different than everything that's going on, you know. Start a whole new thing that it wasn't even supposed to be all known around. It was just like this, I guess, wanted to start something new, to get away from everything else. Like the kids that couldn't like like, let's see, yeah, like kids that were like, you know, treated like bad or whatever, you know, they could go into their own thing and see something good, and they're like, you know, fear discrimination and stereotyping. Actually, a few days ago I got suspended for alright, I told one, there's narcs at our school and we can't wear hats for some reason at school because there's a lot of gangs at our school and they think it's gang related. So I told one of the narcs to take his hat off just because the kids can't wear it. And he got pissed, all so mad, and he took all of my friends all of us, like the band, whatever, he took us in to the nurse's office. And he said, "You guys don't look sane. You guys look crazy, so I'm gonna test you guys for drugs."
No matter who you are, what you look like, you know, they accept you for you, and it's okay to do whatever you want to do. If you look like a punk, if you look normal, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're nice to them, you know, everyone's nice to you. You know? It's a great thing. Pop punk is, like I said, it's watered down music. It's safe. It's comfortable. You know, real punk is aggressive. It's annoying. It's made to offend. It's energetic. It's real.
It's fast and it's like it can be heavy, but it's like at the same time, well, for the most part, the punk that I listen to, like I can understand what they're saying, and I don't know, it just rules. But I don't know, man. Some punk I don't like because they'll like be screaming too much, or like I can't understand what they're saying. Sometimes it can be too fast. It just sounds like noise. It's all jumbled up and stuff. Oh, Sum 41. Yeah, those guys. I was all mad at them the first time I saw their video. They're like singing about not being a casualty of society. They don't want to waste their time and stuff. But I think that's exactly what they're doing. Like, they are like a casualty of society because they're like this cookie cutter like formation of a punk band.
Now you're selling it to people as something new because you're selling it to people who don't know better because they don't know the history of the fucking music. And that's the problem. All these people being taught punk now don't realize the history of the music and realize who's doing what now and what came before. And you're thinking this is original, and it's not so fucking original because 15 years ago, I was a kid and it was original and nobody was watching these bands fucking play.
Pivotal bands you gotta talk about, you can really name them on a hand, a single hand. You got your Ramones. You got your Television. You got your New York Dolls. You got your Clash in some respects, and you got your Sex Pistols. New York bands. New York is the birthplace of punk rock. What everybody says about London, screw that. It's New York.
Started in America. I don't care what anybody says. It started in America.
You know, bands like, you know, Iggy Pop. And, I don't know, you always hear people say, oh, Iggy Pop and all these other bands started punk, but you listen to them, they're not punk. They're just kind of like what led up to punk. Basically, I think punk just happened when music was so boring and fucking dumb, and like everyone had their heads up in the cloud talking about diamonds in the sky and fucking all this floofy shit that like the people that actually had hard lives were like, fuck this, man. My life isn't all peachy with flowers, you know, so they just said, they were just pissed. And then, you know, some kid somewhere got in front of the fucking microphone and started screaming. And other kids were like, hey, that sounds like fucking fun. Next thing you know, you got punk rock.
That's when you tell them that's the real stuff, the real McCoy. That's where it started from. That's where Blink-182 got its influences.
God, I was hoping people got bored of hearing the history of punk rock.
It was more about a scene. It was real political. It wasn't about a type of music. You could have, there was such a wide array of bands that came out in the hardcore days that there was really no way of saying like, this is punk rock, this is punk rock.
It's a shame. It's a shame because these 12-year-old kids, they don't know any better. They think that Blink-182 is punk rock.
Punk, real punk, it's underground. It's not for everyone, and that's how I'd like it to be.
It takes someone like Joe Strummer dying for VH1 to put, the history of punk rock, and this is what has gone on, and these are different bands. If it weren't for Joe Strummer and, all these fucking punk rock legends dying, it's not going to be on TV. So all these kids are accepting Blink-182 and all those other crap bands as being punk rock.
Like Oil and Water. One of the worst things that ever happened to punk rock is fucking MTV. MTV sucks. MTV ruined music.
They're like changing the image completely of what it is. Like, just because they dress like that, they're punk. That's basically what they're saying. And it's not really like the type of music that they play, It's just like their attitude towards it. Like they'll be saying, like those bands you were naming, that is not punk at all. It's like actually the complete opposite. But just because they say it and they're famous, people will start getting an idea, then this is real punk rock.
Like, they're not gonna show that on TV, dude. People cutting their faces open with a broken bottle and, like, smearing it on each other's faces and, like, fights and drinking and throwing up and sodomizing yourself with, like, a knife handle or something. Like, a majority of, like, people, I guess, they don't like that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. But I guess a lot of people are scared of it, so I think what's on TV and on the radio is like an edited version of punk rock, maybe.
And that's what they do, But I would blame the bands, like Blink-182 with their little crappy punk rock or whatever it says on their shirt. And it's like you just want to hurt. You just want to grab their neck and punch them in the face a few times. Because that these guys don't have a fucking clue what punk rock is about. Just emo-y fucking, I saw this girl, her hair was brown.
You got any good Charlotte?
Avril Lavigne, yeah, that's
she
fucking punk,
she
dude.
classified herself as, I consider myself skate punk. Oh, has Good Charlotte ever played a fucking club? Has all these bands ever played like a club? They ever made their own flyers and went out and had to get a job to buy their amp? Fuck no. They all had mommy and daddy buy their shit, they play, they fucking sell their music, they get signed, and off they go.
It's not like punk rock. I think to be punk rock, you have to rock in the first place. A lot of these bands, like, I don't think they rock, but they call them pop punk, which is okay with me because they left the rock word out of there. And they can pop all they want, like Michael Jackson and stuff. But, yeah, if Michael Jackson, had spiky hair, he'd be pop punk too.
I'll send you a picture of my penis. Can we delete that off the record, please? I'm all off the record. I'll send you a picture of my penis.
I'll put it up on my wall, dude. Up on my ceiling.
I'm all gonna tie you up to a tree and fuck you in the ass while the rest of us watching Jack Apples. We'll show you what you do to faggots around here.
I'll lick your asshole till it bleeds. We'll show you what we do to faggots.
You can tell him, Steve.
I don't want to tell the camera, dude.
We don't want to tell you because he did so spectacularly well that it's like, it just doesn't need to be documented.
I was all, come on guys, what the fuck's going on here? Are we a band or what?
And he had to bitch at me and I was like, I'm sorry dude, I don't know what's wrong with me, I just never practiced. And Steve's like, I'm in there 2 hours a day, non-stop, bleeding my fingers to the bone practicing these songs. Not my songs, but these songs. When I think of skinhead, I think of myself. I think of... Well, let me tell you about how I view myself as a skinhead. When I think of the word skinhead, I think of myself and then I think of holding myself to a higher standard than other people because of doing more work. Like at my job right now, for instance, if someone leaves some slack, I want to pick up that slack. When I see trash on the street, you'll notice that I pick it up if it's a big piece of trash. And it's just different things like that. It's a conservative, yet still punk rock mentality.
Are you conservative politically?
I am.
Okay. What about
I voted for Bush.
I
think Saddam is a mean man.
Yeah.
I think he's a very mean man.
Yeah.
Basically, of this hotel. This mask is sealed. Hold on 1 second until I make sure. I can tighten it a little more. Okay, it's on tight
How's it going?
What's your name, Mike?
Jake.
And what are you doing here?
Well, I came out because I'm disgusted with all these hippies that are just coming out here to bash America.
I have no pride in America, the land that gives them the ability to have these opinions. It's not about whether or not we're in the war. The fact of the matter is we're in, and now you need to support your country. We've already had, I believe it's 2 soldiers died in combat, and 4 more in the helicopter crash that happened last night.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, the skinheads that I know hang out with punks.
Skinhead, skins the USA.
Skin smell. No matter who wants to stereotype me and say however I want to look. In fact, the other day, were you there?
Where?
Yeah, you were there in Smith's when that guy looked at me. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
There was a big guy, and he looked at me like he glared at me like a lot. Like you could tell he really didn't like me, and we had to assume it was because he thought I was a Nazi. I'm not sure if that's what it was, but we had to assume. And the guy dropped $1, and I saw it on the floor, and I was like, "Hey, dude, did you drop this $1?" And I gave it to him, and he thanked me like 5 times, and he realized at that point, like, this guy doesn't hate me because I'm an Indian. He was Native American.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this guy doesn't hate me because I'm an Indian. He's just another guy. And really felt good to break that stereotype and to make it evident that, like, look, appearances aren't everything. I really work at that.
Well, I started working with Vince at Blockbuster, and like I noticed right away that he didn't have any hair on his head, right? You know, obvious fact. But he came up to me right off. He's all like, "Hey, what's going on?" We introduced each other. We just started talking, and I was like, you know, you have to ask, like, what's the deal with the no hair? He's all, "Oh, I'm a skinhead." I'm like, "Oh, all right. Like, so what does that mean?" He's all, "Well, prior to that, I thought skinheads were Nazis."
People are out there, they all think skins are Nazis. I'm glad you have this media here to get rid of that stereotype. I'm actually a Jewish skinhead.
But Vince explained it to me, and he told me, no, skinheads are all about world peace and wanting everybody to get along and this and that. And he told me he was in a band, the United, and he invited me to a concert, and I went. And once again, I was surrounded by people with no hair or with mohawks or with spiked hair. And I was a little bit off with it, but they were all cool. I mean, they were all, nobody did anything, nobody said anything. There was no comment whatsoever. And since then, I worked with Vince for about half a year, and we just got to be really good friends.
Like I said, everyone gets along in the punk scene, you know. Everyone, and there's always, for me, so I haven't been into it, you know, too long, but there's always someone new to meet.
The only thing that I kind of dislike about punk rock in its entirety is that the people who listen to it are kind of naive in a sense that they say, oh, you know, this is what you gotta play to be punk, which is fine if you don't have no roots.
There's so many bands. A lot of bands are good, a lot of bands aren't. The bands that aren't get pushed by the bands that are good to get better. We push each other to get better.
Albuquerque's always been real good for musicians.
Nicky and the Ox, fucking goddamn Richard Nicky. Me and him see each other every time. It's like he fucking tells me how much more he punk rock and how much he could drink me under the table and how prettier he was than I am, and I tell him every time, yes, you're more punk rock. Yes, you could drink me under the table. You're not as pretty as I am. It's true, he's an old fucking dirty fuck. I hope he watches this movie. Fuck you, Richard Nicky.
work shows with this guy at the Sunshine. I get paid $100. It costs me $40 a night to work there because he never has cash and I buy the beers when we work.
It's $2 that's an offer.
Give me that shit. Yeah, I know, but still, dude,
40
he
bucks.
drinks fucking whatever, dude, 25 bucks for that rap show the other night, dude.
Our whole life pretty much is music. Our work is music, our hobby is music, and our love is music.
He turned me on to The Exploited, first punk band I ever really fucking got into, and from there it was pretty much downhill. And it was Agent Orange, Circle Jerks, Dead Kennedys. I'd say like my most powerful influences, at least as far as this band and bands that I've just always enjoyed and still love listening to, are like the Meatmen, Tesco V and the Hate Police, the Dwarves. Any band that's not afraid to be jackass and asinine and still fucking rock is like they're the big influences in my life. There's a band called Fight for Freedom, and the lead singer got shot outside of a club by some gangbanger one night. And they had, for me, the punk rock ethos was this one song that they had. It was be yourself, live your own life, fuck social values, and fight for freedom. Well, I'll do it quick because he's probably gonna go on a tirade, and I'll go get a beer. I'm pissed.
I don't think punk ever died. It just kept going. It just, too bad the whole mainstream thing brought it in and out. But kids these days is opposite of what we grew up on. Kids these days, it's all about image. Kids these days, it's all about like, oh, this band's #1, let's buy them. Punk rock does, look at us. We're in style. Fuck no, we're not in style. But we pick up our guitars, we fucking just play. Fuck that, dude. I mean, like, yeah, I would love to make music and make money doing what we're doing. But they will never allow us because we will never let anybody touch our music or alter our music ever.
No,
our music.
money.
Let me finish, bro. You fucking bald motherfucker. Let me finish. Just kidding. I love this guy, dude. We go way back.
No, and then we work with Rick. We call him Black Tape. I like to call him Pop Tart. I like to call him Pop Tart.
Spends all his time in the fucking titty bars. He's always late for work. He comes in drunk. That's fucking Rick, man.
But yeah,
he's underpaid and underappreciated, so he says fuck it. He's like, I got a show. I got to be there at 7. Nah, I go to the titty bar. I'll be there at 8. How's that?
He's
Rick just rolls
he's
in.
the LD/roadie guy there. I mean, he does all the load-ins, all the load-outs. Does the lighting during the show if they don't have their own light guy.
Everything for years.
And he plays in Rebuild. The guy's a sick-ass fucking drummer. First time I saw Rick, I was like going, I went to him, I was all, beat drums! And he went, you know how many times I heard that in high school? And I was like, man, I thought it was something new.
I'm trying to focus on other things to worry about how other people are dressed and what they're doing. And if they think that they're all punk rock and this and that, I mean, by no means am I punk rock. And nobody was coming to shows. Nobody's going out. It's just I've seen the highs and the lows in this town. Been playing actively for the last 9 years. I've been, working in the local concert hall for the last 7. These fucking bands come through and do their thing. It's just like, fuck. How the fuck did these guys get signed? Why can't I be on this fucking tour bus? Why can't my friends' bands be on this fucking... Why it becomes frustrating, but at the same time, that's where all the self-promotion comes through and just really fucking hitting, just really playing hard and fucking dedicating your life to it. I think by far Albuquerque in a sense of music and creativity and passion, we would have to be absolutely top 5 in the world. Worst thing that ever happened to the scene is Joe Anderson. What's wrong with him? I don't know, is he sick? Poor Joe. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with him. My question is, question on the question. Why would you ask? What's wrong with Joe?
Oh, you said the worst thing that's ever happened in Albuquerque was Joe Anderson.
No, the best thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Flip-flop everything I said.
All right, we'll say it again then.
Okay. It's the best Joe Anderson, by far. I mean, he's given my band opportunity to play out. He's given my band opportunity to open up for nationals. Just from hard work that we've shown him.
It's going to be an all-age space, of course.
I'd say really there's a core group of about 5 people who are actually doing shit to try to get the money together and start a show space that's all ages and doesn't suck in Albuquerque, because we really need it and we're missing a lot of bands coming through.
No name. It's going to have to be voted on.
We can't guarantee at the launch pad that enough people are going to show up to make the club $500 in a night, bullshit like that.
We have a group of kids come over and who have the time and the interest.
So I put together a CD. This is Albuquerque, not LA. It's got the Vice X, the Jackson 4, and 12-Step Rebels.
Maybe workshops, movie nights, shows, raves, whatever we can get our hands on.
But yeah, we're doing that. We're trying to find places to have benefit shows and basically just, when people are saving their pocket change and stuff. We had one meeting where there were about 20 people present and we got about $120 just from people being like, okay, this is what I have in my wallet and I can afford to spare.
It's good for a good cause. If there's no other place for kids to go, it's good.
Yeah, so when we made flyers that talk about what we're doing, trying to get people who wouldn't normally be involved, because we're not going to be, like punk elitists or anything. Anybody can have a show there. We'll let goth people put on goth nights and, we'll have metal shows and anything. The space needs to raise money and we want it to be a space where everybody can go and do something and have fun.
It's really hard to have an all-ages venue, and I really appreciate what's going on because a lot of bands don't come through here because there's no all-ages venue to play.
Just a lot more bands will be playing here from out of town because honestly it's getting really tired of getting skipped.
I think it's really cool. I've been to a couple meetings and it's all about, we're trying to get money together, we're trying to find a place just to kind of, unify the whole scene. The younger kids, they don't really have anything to do.
In and out.
You're telling me, ship up or ship out. But I never shape myself. Something so offending as you. Your kind.
First in and out trip ever? Yeah. And I like to consider myself an entrepreneur of new foods.
Keep your politics to forgive to me. I'm just putting in the wind. A week been buzzing about you. The people saying nothing new again and again. What about the kids that piss for people and the broke? All the sucks with overflowing pockets. All the Christian fucks pointing pistol at the boat. All the models falling from their graces. Give me just a second to crash your two-bed dairies. That's more than enough time I need to see through their innate queries. You're telling me, shape up or shape out. But I never shape myself. There's something so offending as you.
Let's cut your hair like Mr. T, which was probably before Mr. T's time, kind of. But and he goes, okay, I'll do that. But we're at it, dye it blue, because you'll look real Trey Punk then. And some idiot was stupid enough to do that, and so that's how it all evolved.
The one thing that tied all of these bands together was an ideology, and it was anti-establishment, it was anti-corporation. It was through that hardcore scene when I was 15 also that I heard about what the CIA was doing in El Salvador.
It's always some idiot like at a party thinking, I'm going to outdo I'm going to look goofier than you look. And that's where it all came from. No, well, that's not goofy enough. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick little like safety pins in my face.
You know, we had Reagan in, and so there's a lot of political activism against the right wing, the extreme right wing.
Well, yeah. Well, in that case, I'm going to wear black nail polish and lipstick, and I'm going to dye my hair yellow. Because some idiot seeing another idiot thinking, hey, I'm going to outdo you. And now it's just sort of like, well, let's go to Hot Topics and buy the stuff that everybody else wears.
It was a B&M locksmith, which was basically, it was an old locksmith store.
B&M Locksmith used to be a bunch of bands played here. Crucifix played here. I think TSWL played here. The Dicks, a lot of local bands.
We had a couple of great bands, Jerry's Kids and Corfu. And then there's Sangre de Puerco, but I don't think they made it past the demo tape stage.
This was there's an old locksmith that this chick Mitzi the Grungy used to live at. She didn't have a shower or anything. She was nasty. Right. See at the end, like right out here. I'll show you. Stage would have been somewhere right about here.
I don't know what it stood for as a locksmith, but we called it Bash and Mash because that was just a sign on the side. And the Bash and Mash, TSOL played there, DRI on their first tour after they came back from the West Coast.
People used to make, everybody tried to make names out of it, so they called it Bash and Mash and stuff like that. But it was originally called the B&M Locksmith when there was a locksmith store. Closed down, that's when Mitzi started renting it. But the last show they had here, I remember it was funny because like we knew we were getting kicked out of there kind of, so everybody kind of like trashed the place. A friend of mine, Dave Haller, put on a motorcycle helmet and ran his head through a wall that was all lath and plaster and just ran his head right through it. They almost killed themselves.
I think the roof was falling down by the end of the night. Steve Island was walking around with the beam that was holding up that piece of roof, like a 6 foot 8x8 beam, and he's walking around smashing things on the ground with it.
Broke all the toilet and the sink that was in there.
This would have been a huge hall back then. And we did have a couple places that were about this size, Test Site Studios.
This here is like a Mexican bus station now, but this used to be Test Site Studios, we used to call this. And my buddy Gordy Anderson, who used to be Jerry's Kids, rented this out, had shows. JFA played here, a lot of local stuff. I watched Brian Brandon from JFA like talk shit about everybody, and this friend of mine, Tom Sanders, just jumped off this thing and accidentally knocked him out because he was talking about how nobody was slamming around enough. So Tom Sanders just sort of like his own stage dive off like the heater that was in there, landed on Brian and knocked him out. And there was a lot of stuff going on here. This was like one of the better hardcore venues that we used to call it, because cops rarely ever bothered us. This went on right about the same time, maybe a little after B&M. This was 1984, because I remember BGK played here, that's right. Cause for Alarm, I believe, played here. BGK is this band from Holland, really cool guys. And I remember this was 1984, because I was in New York and I came back here, and that's when we had this going. So I do remember that. It was a summer of 1984, basically. And NoFX also played just around the corner here at this bingo hall at a show. There's probably like 2,000 people at it. That's when they started getting big. Before that, they were playing places like this. Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they got way bigger. This place here is called, what it used to be called Casa Armijo. It's the old Armijo Elementary, or Armijo School. It was like one of those little red brick schoolhouses. They had all sorts of grades, and this thing's 100 and something years old. They had a bunch of shows here. Black Flag played here a lot. And this is like mid-80s also. The first time Henry Rollins came through town, this is where he played. And we had a good brawl with some Denver guys here. And here's a little thing on the school here. Oh, 1914. I lied. All these skinhead guys came down from, actually they weren't bad guys, I guess, but they're just kind of annoying. One guy was wearing a bowler hat, I remember. And they came down for some show that was from some band, I don't know who they were, from Denver. And they kind of got uppity, and somebody didn't take a liking to that, a friend of mine, Tom Gandy. And he beat up one of the guys. And then they started up, we started up, and the parking lot over here, a couple of those guys got pretty bloodied. There's a couple of bad things that happened here. A friend of mine, Alan Deems, got jumped here. And Rollins hit Tom Gandy, his friend of mine, upside the head with a hammer, because he was going after some other guy. At the time, it wasn't a school or anything. It was just kind of semi-abandoned. None of this stuff was up at all. This has probably been 20 years ago, close to it. They had shows here mid-80s. So that was the last time I was here. So it's been close to 20 years.
The noise ordinance sucks.
It's the biggest load of crap, you know.
I think it's a lot of bullshit.
I really don't know that much about that, except that it's stupid.
Now we got the noise ordinance. These people don't live around there. What were you thinking? You're living close to downtown. You know it's going to be a happening area. Why did you choose to live there? Move! Go somewhere else! What's wrong with you people?
Fuck Downtown Action Committee and fuck goddamn music ordinance. It's fucking bullshit. It's like you fucking hear about them wanting to revitalize downtown.
But they pushed it against the clubs downtown. They didn't push it on the lowriders with their boom boxes going down the street. They didn't push it. I live 2 blocks from warehouses. They didn't push it when the freight trains come through here at 3 in the morning moving rail cars. They still honk their horns when they cross the street. They don't push that. That's 180 decibels. Fucking Channel 7 uses the field right across the freeway from my house for their helipad. So I got those guys all night long flying over my house with their helicopter.
I think it's just people fucking whining and complaining because they don't have nothing better to do. They're just miserable and want to make others' lives miserable.
That's a bunch of shit. And that could be any place to go if that happens.
The noise ordinance is just a law, and the whole idea is like, it's a law, fuck it. Laws are meant to be broken.
On one hand, everyone's trying to get downtown, alive, the rebirth of downtown, and we've got to get this going on, we've got to get this going on.
Revitalize this, motherfucker.
And then, all of a sudden comes along this ordinance because some of the people that live there are getting, a little distracted.
I don't think that's right. It's not good for businesses. It's not good for, venues that have shows. And that number's been declining rapidly. I think as of right now, the only venue that really has any weight in this town is the Launchpad.
So it is singling out the bars and the bars downtown.
It's just another stupid law that if everybody just says, well, that's the end of everything, well, it is. It's already dead then if that's the one lousy thing that's keeping you from having shows. Well, if it does get to you, you're a puss. It's like, big fucking deal. You made a new law. You made a new thing for me to break. Yay. Good. I'm going to just play that much louder. Kiss my ass. Oh, the city council's going to come down on me. Ooh, well, I'm terrified now.